I have no clue how the Sens won this one, but a win is a win. So before I start talking about this game, I'm gonna go ahead and mention the obvious. Hi, I'm back. I did not make a video on the last two Sens games, just things getting busy in life, and so the last two games, the Montreal game, that was the same night as Game 7 of the World Series, and I was not very happy that night, so I didn't feel like doing a video on that game. They lost in overtime, so yeah, I didn't really watch too much of that game anyways. And then the Sens' last game against the Bruins, they also lost in overtime. That one I was watching, but I wasn't really super invested in it. Um, Again, just taking a break. Yes, I did miss a couple of games, but we're back here today. So how how did they win this? Like, if there was ever a game where your team wins and you were upset about them winning, this would be it. So, Saturday, November 8th, the Sens played their 15th game of the regular season against the Philadelphia Flyers. It was an afternoon game. It was a 1 o'clock Eastern start time. So, this was the second meeting of the season between these two teams. And now the Sens are 2-0 against the Flyers. So it was Linus Ullmark in net for the Sens and Sam Ersson in net for the Flyers. So Sens were 6-5-3 coming into today, and the Flyers were 8-5-1 coming into today. Now, before this game even started, before the puck is even dropped, as a joke, I said overtime today, maybe? Because the Sens are coming in having played 3 games in a row that have gone to overtime. I said that as a joke, but not really, because there's some logic behind it. And sure enough, we went to overtime. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down this game. This was a weird one, wasn't it? So, obviously, there is one glaring stat that you're probably looking at right now. Your eyes do not deceive you. We'll get to that in a minute, and I will be talking about that, obviously, in this video. So, the Sens end up winning by a score of 3-2 in overtime against the Flyers. 4 straight overtime games for the Sens. It's insane. Uh, there's been so much overtime just in the league lately. Um, I honestly might do a video on it because it feels like there's been a lot. Yeah, 4 straight games for the Sens. So the Sens improved to 7-5-3 on the season, and the Flyers are now 8-5-2. So we're gonna go ahead and run through the stats here. Dude, the shots. Now, the shots being 22-13 for the Flyers. 13. That's crazy enough, right? But trust me, I'm getting to it. If you watch this game, I'll get to that later. But yeah, that's pretty insane. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of record for like winning a game with the fewest shots. That's got to be awfully close. 13 shots. But still, even 22 shots for the Flyers, it's not that many either. It was a very low event game for the most part. Not a ton of chances, and the shots kind of reflected it. So face-off percentage, once again, Sens dominate 54.7% and 45.3% for the Flyers. Both teams were 0 for 2 on the power play. Both teams had 8 penalty minutes. The hits were 26-18 for the Flyers. Block shots were 17-10 in favor of the Sens. Giveaways 16-13 with the Flyers having the fewest. And the takeaways were 8-5 in favor of the Flyers. So these two teams will meet again on February 5th. So that'll be the third and final meeting of the season between these two teams. This is a weird one. I said this before in a video. They don't ask how, they just ask how many, right? And this is, again, if you were ever going to be upset about a win, this would be it. I have no clue how the Sens won this tonight, man. Or today, I should say. But we're gonna go ahead and break down this game. I'll go through my notes. So, we go into the first period, start of the game. It's a good start for Ottawa. The Flyers are not doing really anything at the start. So Perron would end up finding Stützle, who is wide open, and he would one-time it past Eriksson for the 1-0 lead. So the Sens score first for the fourth time this season, just the fourth time in, how many games is that? 15 games. And first time they scored first in back-to-back games. So I'm like, holy cow, okay, what the heck? This is crazy. I'm not used to this. So the Sens score first. That's good. And then a minute also on that first goal. So Tim Stützle scores that first goal, his 7th of the season, at the 5:14 mark of the first period. David Perron and Ridley Gregg getting the assist there. I'm a little bit rusty here. I haven't done a video in a while, so do apologize. So yeah, Sens would go up 1-0 pretty early in the game, so it's looking pretty good, right? And then a minute and 5 seconds later, the Sens would gain the zone and Amadio would walk through the slot all alone, just kind of skating through the D, and he would backhand it past Eriksson for a 2-0 lead. So Michael Amadio also is on a 3-game goal streak now, so that's good to see. So Amadio scores his 5th of the season at the 6:19 mark of the first period, and Claude Giroux, the former Flyer, of course, and Shane Pinto drawing the assist on that one, and that made it 2-0 Sens, and the Flyers still don't have a shot on goal to this point. So I'm like, okay, this is great. This is a great start. But it is the Sens. You never know what you're going to get with this team, and today definitely proved that, didn't it? So, yes, they're up 2-0. Yes, the Flyers don't have a shot on goal, but I'm not going to get that comfortable, right? You never know with this team. So, the Flyers would not get their first shot until around the 6:50 mark of the first period. So, again, really good start for the Sens. So there was a big hit by Juleson, and this was kind of unexpected because nobody was really moving, and Mike Johnson also alluded to this during the broadcast. So nobody was really moving. It was unexpected. Everyone's standing still. There was a big hit by Juleson on, now I'm drawing a blank here. I did not put down who the Sens player was, but it was a big hit. So did want to make a note of that. So there was a turnover by Ottawa. There was a shot by Philadelphia that was stopped by Allmark. It's a good save by him. There was a slashing penalty by Zub. The Flyers would not score on that power play. They got one shot. There was also a chance where they fanned on a shot in the slot, but still, the Flyers get nothing on that power play. So that's good if you're a Sens fan, because we know how bad the penalty kill has been, right? So that's good. So then, shortly after that, there was an interference penalty by the Flyers, and the Sens, kind of like the Flyers, they got one shot on their power play. Of course, there were no power play goals in this game for either team. So yeah, not really too much going on that power play. Again, just the one shot. So then Tippett would have a good chance off the wing. This guy can skate. This guy can fly. I think I mentioned this during the last time these two teams played each other. Tippett is probably one of the fastest skaters in the league. Like that, he can move. He can really move. But anyways, he did come speeding down the wing. It was a good save by Allmark there. So really, it was a very low event, low chance first period. The shots were just 6-4 for Ottawa after the first period, but they were up 2-0. So I'm like, okay, it's looking pretty good. They got a 2-0 lead on the road. The crowd's kind of out of it. The Flyers only have 4 shots, so we're looking pretty good, right? But again, never get your hopes up too much with this team, because you never know what to expect. Again, trust me, I'm getting to it. I'm going to get to it. Because there is a mind-boggling stat in this game. So we roll on to the second period. There was a scrum around the Ottawa net. Grabenkin was jamming away at the puck, and that led to the scrum. There were no penalties on that play, though. So Brink would walk out all alone out front, and Nick Cousins would take a slashing penalty, so he might have saved the goal there. So perhaps a good penalty to take there by Cousins. I don't mind that one. So again, Flyers go to the power play. They get one shot on their power play, but they were getting some good looks. So right around here, this is when I started to feel a possible tide change in the game. That's where it started. Because I'm like, okay, we're sitting back, we're giving them power plays. I kind of felt it right there a little bit, but it was still pretty close to this point, right? So then there were coincidental minors to Ridley Gregg and Travis Konechny, so we played some 4-on-4. Um, I think I don't think the Sens have scored a 4-on-4 goal or allowed one this season, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that during the broadcast. So we're halfway through the game, and the shots just 10-9 for Ottawa halfway through the game. So again, very low event, very low chance, and I put this down. At this point, I'm thinking, yeah, it's a pretty low chance game, that not a whole lot going on. And not long after that, go figure, Michkov walks into the slot and he would wrist one past Allmark, of course, right after I'm thinking that. So Matvey Michkov would score his third of the season from Christian Dvorak and Travis Konechny at the 11:23 mark of the second period. So that would make it 2-1. And especially after that first goal went in for the Flyers, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, the Sens were kind of sitting back a little bit. Oh, they took sitting back to a whole new level today. Trust me. And again, I will get to that stat soon enough. But yeah, when that first goal went in, I could really, really feel it starting to, okay, not good. It's not good. So there was a hit from behind by Dylan Cousins on Juleson. It's a bad hit. Yes, Juleson, he dumped the puck in and he turned, players, it's just like a habit, right? You dump it in, you turn. So, bad timing, but it's still a bad hit. You can't do that. So, now what happened on this play, Juleson actually retaliated, so he also took a penalty. So this ends up being 4-on-4. The Flyers were not happy about that. I don't blame them in a way, but I think the refs actually called this one correctly, because the hit from behind on Cousins, you got to call that. And then Juleson for retaliating, it evens up. So I think they got that right. I really do. So we would play 4-on-4 again, second time of the game. That's kind of rare to see, but not really too much happened out of that. So Jensen appeared to get tripped. I thought he got tripped, and Mike Johnson also thought he got tripped, but there was no call, and that led to a 2-on-1 for the Flyers, but that was stopped by Allmark. So it looked like a trip to me, but I don't know. And Sens having trouble clearing the puck. The Flyers, that they were taking over. They were really taking over this game. There's just not a lot going on for the Sens. The shots were 11-5 for the Flyers in that second period. And if you think that's bad, oh, it gets worse. But so we're going into the second intermission. I'm not feeling that great, truly, even though the Sens are up 2-1. They're not doing anything. There's nothing going on. 5 shots. What even is that? So I'm not feeling too great, even though the Sens are up 2-1, because the Flyers, you could feel them just taking over the game. So we roll into the third period. This is where that big stat's going to come. Just wait for it. I promise it's a good one. Okay, so there was a flurry by Philadelphia. Some good chances there. They would not end up scoring. Michkov would take a tripping penalty. Philadelphia had the momentum at this point, so that was a really bad penalty for the Flyers to take. Now, the Sens on this power play, no shots. I didn't see any attempted shots on this power play. I don't know if I have this stat correct, but the Sens power play has been kind of struggling. I believe they are 0 for 15 in their last 5 games. That stat might not be completely accurate, but their power play has been struggling for a few games now, so it would help if you shoot. It would really help if you shoot. Emphasis on shoot. So shortly after that power play ended, Zetterlund walks out front and he would hit the post. This guy can't score. He just can't score. He has, 3 goals in 30 something games with the Sens. He just can't buy one. I don't know what it is. The chances are there, the effort is there, but man, oh man, he just can't buy one. So at this point, the Sens look exhausted. And again, I'm putting a lot of emphasis on exhausted, because they had nothing going on at all. And I still haven't gotten to that stat yet. It's a good one, I promise. So Philadelphia would have a shot that hit the post, and we are 6:09 into the third period, and the shots were, listen to this. This is not the crazy stat, but listen to this. 6:09 into the third period, the shots were 14-5 Philadelphia since the end of the first period. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So in about 26 minutes of gameplay, the Sens have 5 shots. Oh, it gets worse. Trust me, it gets worse. There was a shot that deflected up into the face of Artem Zub. He would end up leaving the bench, but he did come back. I think he only missed like a couple of shifts, so that was good to see him return for sure. There was a shot by the Flyers that was blocked, and Drysdale picked up the rebound, and he would bury it. So that would tie the game. I saw it coming from a mile away because the Sens have nothing going on at all. Nothing. So like I knew it. I knew it was coming. So Jamie Drysdale would tie the game at the 9:55 mark of the third period. Christian Dvorak and Trevor Zegras getting the assist there. That's 2 assists for Dvorak. And we got a tie game. So there was a big hit by Greg, and this led to a scrum. I don't think there were any penalties out of that play. No, there wasn't. There was a turnover by Ottawa. Michkov had a really good chance, but that was stopped. And now, here is the big stat. The Senators would get their first shot on net in over 23 minutes. Do not adjust your volume. You're not hearing things. 23 minutes without a shot. But it gets even worse, believe it or not. So they got a shot. They appeared to get a shot, but then they actually took it away. So I guess they determined that that shot was going over the net, which, I mean, it was. It was going like probably 3 feet over the net. So they counted the shot at first, but then they took it away. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So at this point, you're looking at 23 minutes without a shot on goal. Listen, I don't care what league it is. I don't care what team it is. That's embarrassing. That's that's over a period without a shot on goal. That's why I say I don't know how they won this. I don't. Because if you go over a period without a shot, like, what the heck? So shortly after that, the Sens would get an actual shot. It was a backhander by, I think it was Dylan Cousins. I forgot to put the name down. I think it was Cousins. So that was their first actual shot. So I didn't get the exact number, but the Sens went about 25 minutes without a shot on goal. That's close to half a game. Like, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. So we end up going to overtime. Shocker. That is the 4th straight overtime game for the Sens. Oh, and the shots in the third period, 8-1 for the Flyers. 1 shot for Ottawa in that period. They didn't deserve this win. But again, they don't ask how, they only ask how many, right? So we go to overtime, and Batherson would make a nice play, so he would end up cutting in and dragging the puck. He fed Stützle in front, and Stützle would end up scoring the overtime winner, and 3-2 is your final in overtime. And again, I have no clue how the Sens won this. I don't know. I don't know, man. And also, the Sens are now 2-0 against the Flyers this season, so there's that. So, yeah, just, I don't know. I don't know, man. This is a weird one. This is a really weird one. So, we'll go through the 3 stars. So, first star of the game, obviously, Tim Stützle with 2 goals, including the overtime winner. Second star was Michael Amadio. He had 1 goal. And the third star was Matvei Michkov, had 1 goal as well. So we'll go ahead and go through the box score. We'll go through the Sens stats. So our point getters For the forwards, of course, Stutzla had the 2 goals. We've also got Amadio with a goal. We got Greg, Perron, Giroux, Batherson, and Pinto all with 1 assist. And on the defensive side, Shabbat with 1 assist. And plus minus, let's see here. Sanderson was the only minus for defense. He was a -2. I feel like he kind of had a rough night. I keep saying night. Rough day, rough game for Sanderson. I don't know, he just not his best effort, I would say. Shabbat was a +2. Spence was in the lineup tonight. That was good to see. So he was a +1. Plus minus for the forwards. Stutzla was a +2. Amadio and Perron were +1. And Eller and Nick Cousins were -1. Alright, let's go look at the shots. Dylan Cousins leading the forwards with 3. And defense. Only 2 shots by the defense. They only 13 in total. So, I mean, Zub and Clevin with 1 shot each. And that was it for the defense. Blocks. Shabbat had 5 blocks. That led the defense, and Stutzla led forwards in blocks also with 2. Hits, the most hits was actually Zetterlund. That's a bit of a surprise there. Zetterlund had the most hits for forwards with 4. And for defense, Spence had the most hits with 2. So there is that, and that's pretty much it for that. And Allmark did end up having, he had a good game. He stopped 20 out of 22 for a .909 save percentage, so that's a good game for Allmark, and this is it's a weird one, man. Again, I know I'll say it again. They don't ask how, they only ask how many, right? So the Sens, in my opinion, did not deserve this win. Again, they went approximately 25 minutes without a shot on goal. Like, it's just, wow. I don't know. 13 shots. Again, I really wish there probably is some kind of a record for a win with the fewest shots on goal. 13 has to be awfully close. But, hey, a win is a win. And on the road as well, which the Sens have been struggling on the road so far. So I can actually pull that up real quick. Let me do that. Let me pull up the standings real quick here. So the Sens on the road, they are actually 500 now. They are 3-3-2. And speaking of the standings, I know I didn't do a standings video last Sunday. I will be doing one tomorrow. The standings are very interesting, shall we say, especially in the East. But yeah, so do look out for that video. So the Sens next game, they're going to be right back at it tomorrow night against the Utah Mammoth. So Sunday, November 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see how that goes. Utah's been kind of on a roll this season so far. So yeah, this is it's a weird win. The Sens, in my opinion, did not deserve it, but at the end of the day, it was a very low chance game. Shots were just 22-13. Like 22 shots is not a ton either. So yeah, you take the win, especially if it's on the road, and very opportunistic, right? So gotta finish on your chances, which the Sens did today. So yep, a win is a win. So again, we'll be back at it tomorrow night against Utah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and go Sens go.